Welcome, sleuths and mystery enthusiasts.
It's for you.
There's nothing quite like the thrill of a well-crafted whodunit, where every clue and every suspect holds the potential key to unravelling a captivating story.
At last, we are making some progress.
Here is a list of video games that give you a front row seat to some grisly crimes and then ask you to investigate.
But here's a piece of advice. Get yourself 2 suits, get them pressed. You'll be needing them.
Let's start with the OG. It's your boy from Baker Street, the best to ever do it, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him.
It's his deerstalker you want to be wearing when the blood starts flying and the people turn to you for answers.
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Of all the Sherlock games released by Ukrainian studio Frogwares, Crimes and Punishments is the pick of the bunch. If you can go over the clumsy pluralisation of the title, you'll appreciate the meticulous detail in the crime scenes. Not to mention the fact that you get to enter Sherlock's mind palace, piecing together events right there before his little grey cells.
Listen here, young man. I am aware that you wish to protect yourself behind all these regulations, but I represent the law.
I would suggest that you cooperate with Mr. Holmes. Think of your career.
For another period piece, take a look at L.A Noire. There's murder everywhere in 1947 Los Angeles.
Broad daylight, crowded street. I've seen everything.
Even when you're working as a traffic cop, you can't help but solve multiple killings. Once you're promoted to the homicide desk, you're dealing with the infamous Black Dahlia murder, or at least a series of deaths heavily influenced by that real-life case.
Help you, gentlemen? LAPD detectives, Mr. Black. You're under arrest.
You could argue that L.A Noire peaks early,
I'm really sorry about this.
ultimately shunting you off the homicide desk and into the less glamorous vice and arson departments.
Welcome to Vice.
You could also point out that its investigation mechanics are vague and hard to pin down. But even with those shortcomings, this is a strikingly moody adventure that evokes LA Confidential and Chinatown.
I think that's all. Thanks for your help, Morgan. We appreciate it.
Hey, I'm just glad I could help. I love cops.
For even deeper shadows and noirish atmosphere, there's The Wolf Among Us. You play as a cop paddling the streets of a New York slum, but the people around here aren't regular New Yorkers.
Hey, Colin.
They're refugees from fairy tales.
Surely you didn't come all this way just for my bother?
You'll mediate in the trouble marriage of Beauty and the Beast and hunt down a murderer with the help of Snow White. Oh, and the wolf in the title? That's you, the big bad wolf. Not exactly a natural when it comes to protecting and serving. The Wolf Among Us doesn't always let you make your own choices as you search for the killer, and that can be frustrating. But a surprisingly earthy and moving story makes up for it.
If we don't unearth our culprit, and soon, there will likely be another on our doorstep tonight.
I'll get it done.
Please, Bigby, for Miss White.
I got it.
Does the abandoned town of Painscreek have a terrible secret? Of course it does. It's called Painscreek. You play a young journalist named Jeanette, set to investigate the murder that led locals to leave their homes behind. And you really do have to investigate, carefully picking through the open environment for clues without the help of hints or quest markers.
You remember the murder that happened a few years back that was never solved? The one at Painscreek where the ex-mayor's wife was killed?
Once you begin to connect the dots, you'll feel a real pride over the progress you've made. By making notes and taking photographs, you'll piece together a very human story of heartache, jealousy, and skeletons in closets. And to ensure that your investigative clue clicking is on top form, then grab our G502X Plus gaming mouse with Lightforce hybrid switches and LightSync RGB, helping you solve your mysteries with precision and style.
Hi, this is Steven. I just wanted to make sure the package was sent. Any extra info you have would be much appreciated. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
Murder mysteries rely on grounded concepts like logic and deduction, but that doesn't mean they need to take place in a world we recognise. Paradise Killer is set against the backdrop of a bizarre tropical island. Gods and demons are an everyday fact of life here, and getting to know the place can be dizzying.
Hello, Judge.
But the island needs you. The local ruling council has been slaughtered in a ritualistic murder, and only you can get to the bottom of it. Or can you? Paradise Killer is pretty tough, and perfectly happy to let you go down rabbit holes accusing the wrong suspects.
That's strange.
If you can find out what really went down and make the evidence stick, well, you'll be the most impressive person on an island filled with cool and charismatic characters.
Investigate.
I have a bad feeling about this.
The door to truth will open.
The setting of Disco Elysium is just as strange. Here you'll explore a city described as the disgraced former capital of the world.
Hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
It contains a massive murder investigation, but in order to get started on it, you'll need to wrestle with your own hangover brain first. In many ways, it's the classic problem of a film noir detective. If he's to have any hope of solving the case, he'll have to navigate his own addictions and hang-ups as well. Besides being a detective game, Disco Elysium is a critically beloved RPG, which means you're free to get distracted at any point by side stories.
Give me a moment.
Or to make terrible decisions and be confronted by the flaws in your own worldview. All in a day's work for this cop.
Right now I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
Being an insurance investigator might sound less juicy than being a police detective or a private gumshoe, but you've been handed a delicious mystery to solve in the form of a ghost ship. A merchant vessel named the Obra Dinn has returned to port without its crew. It's your job to tread the boards of the ship and reconstruct events as they happened. Take out your magical pocket watch near the bones of a long-dead sailor, and you'll see the last few seconds of their life play out before your eyes. Each death is a piece in an enormous jigsaw puzzle of murders and accidents. Putting together the entire picture is a satisfying and slow burn process. Overboard also takes place on a ship, but introduces a twist that fundamentally changes the nature of the whodunit. Because the thing is, you did it.
And I threw him overboard.
Having just pushed your husband into the inky black ocean, your goal is to get away with murder. Every passenger on this luxury cruise liner moves and acts independently. They watch and remember what you do, but luckily, they can also be manipulated, blackmailed, drugged, and seduced. A playthrough lasts less than an hour and might end with your arrest. But with enough practice and cunning, you can make this killing the perfect crime.
We stood together at the rail, Malcolm and I. I told him I could see dolphins playing in the wake of the boat. He leant over to see them.
Hopefully by now you've deduced which whodunit is for you.
This is where you say your bit.
But if you do find yourself at a loss, you can always come back to Logitech G for more game recommendations. All you need to do is hit that bell and subscribe. See ya!
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.